Okay, can you all see me? There we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Gilmore. So good evening to my fellow Santa Clarans and the general public. I want to thank everyone that is tuning in tonight. Normally this would be in the council chambers, but with the COVID surges, we are taking the safe measures by doing this virtually. It is the first in Santa Clara's history that we are being sworn in by this means. It has become a normal thing this year in 2020 to be on Zoom. The major negative that I see out of this is I'm not getting that cake that Mayor Gilmore just talked about. So I'm a little jealous by that. So we might get to that later on. Maybe in the future, we might have some cake. 2020 has been one roller coaster of a year. This year has been tested many of us, from the pandemic to social justice, to people not being able to pay their rent. It seemed like that every month it was a new episode in a TV series with tons of plot twists. It was stranger than fiction. 2020 played out to be one of those end of the world type of films where we kept wondering how the season finale will be and what we look forward to next season in 2021. I hope good things. 2020, yeah, was a terrible year. It's not quite the worst year like 536 was, but it would be something that Winston Churchill would call an annus horribilis. And I would agree that same thing. This year has been challenging, but this only makes for stronger leadership. And as the first millennial to be elected here in the city of Santa Clara to the council, I feel it's time. Myself and my generation grew up in challenging times. This election has been a fairy tale. I was born towards the end of the Cold War, witnessed the Loma Prieta quake, saw the Berlin Wall fall. I read Goosebumps and Harry Potter. I grew up on Disney movies, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and South Park, and those Saturday morning cartoons. I rode my bike, bowled at moonlight, pool at billiards, making memories at Bullwinkle's. I drank from the hose, learned stick shift, went from landlines to cell phones, and had tons of cassette tapes and CDs, and never enough VHS and DVDs. I was basically raised on computers. I was a teenager when Columbine happened. I survived Y2K. And I was in high school when 9/11 happened, terror alerts, and Iraq war. My first time to vote was for the governor. I went to Pride, and I witnessed major LGBTQ rights, including the right to marry and able to be me. I saw the fury of Mother Nature, of natural disasters like Katrina, tsunamis, the climate crisis, and the great fires of the state, as well as COVID this year. My generation witnessed it all as we have matured. I am a product of the system. I am from a generation that danced the Macarena, knew how to twerk, knew how to tweet, and we were always laughing out loud. I was a student at Pomeroy Elementary, Los Banos Elementary, Los Banos Junior High and high school. I went to Mission College, probably the first to be elected here to do so. I went to San Jose State, De Anza, and I worked my way through college. This is a moment for all young people, millennials and Gen Z, as we are at the most challenging time. We face uncertain futures. We are the bridge to generations. Most of us don't own property, and most of us are falling short of the dreams and accomplishments built by our grandparents and our parents. I can relate. From a busboy to a bud tender, from valet to content moderator, from production crew to film editor, from material handler to technical writer, and lastly, from candidate to council member, I am the working class hero that John Lennon speaks of, and I won't be like those folks on the Hill. I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant elected by you, the people, and the residents of District 6. I am now a participant, no longer a spectator. I earned this by the blood, sweat, and tears. I walked this district. I won this by the will of my legs, the power of my heart, and the strength of my voice. It took courage, perseverance, grace, and sacrifice. There were nights I ate top ramen or SpaghettiOs, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there can relate. I didn't come from wealth. I didn't come from a family line of former leaders. I come from a regular Santa Clara family that never had the silver spoon, never elected, and always kept our heads down. We earned our way and worked hard. Some will say the Niners bought this election. The Niners didn't buy me because the world is not enough. I'm not for sale. I'm not Pinocchio. There are no strings on me. This journey started in Amy Gillette's film editing class in 2016, the day after the Super Bowl, actually, when Mayor Jamie Matthews resigned. Lisa Gilmore was then appointed mayor, and those events following had me trying to go for the open seat. I didn't get it. That same night, though, Suds, Jane, Raj Shahal, Kevin Park, John McLemore, who's here right with me right now, none of us got it. It was Kathy Watanabe. But it was Kevin Park who told me that night that there is a future for me on council. I never believed him. Today, looking back, basically Kevin Park, he foretold my future and his own. I ran that year in 2016 against Kathy, then for mayor in 2018. In the last 4 years, I got to meet a lot of you, break bread, and enjoying the pleasure of your company. Many of you would tell me the great stories of the past, giving me the guidance and the map to our future. This journey spans from Councilmember Jim Mash, who substituted my class at Pomeroy. He told us what it was like to be on council, and that really piqued my interest. Patty Mahan and Mayor Gilmore were young, progressive women at the time that I felt represented me as a future child, me as a kid. The first council members I actually met was Jamie McLeod and Joe Cordner. I shook hands with both of them. Jamie McLeod was the first out LGBTQ council member in Santa Clara's history. Herself, Ken Yeager, and Harvey Melk were role models that gave me the courage to be me and have guts over fear. I will embark on this journey and work hard to accomplish all my campaign promises. I will fight to reduce our deficits, find new sources for our revenue, build our downtown, and deliver the affordable housing while enhancing our quality of life. Tonight, I'm taking over a seat that has been held by many names like Eddie Souza, Carrie Pronunciar, Aldith Parle, Will Kennedy, and most recently, Debbie Davis. I'm the first elected council member for District 6, and I have big shoes to fill and a lot of work ahead of me. But I want to say some thank yous because there's, a lot to be thanked. First, to my opponents, Robert Mazzetti and Gaetan Barvet. You both ran clean and ethical campaigns, were respectable, and it was fun to participate in the democratic process with you. You are both stand-up guys, and I enjoyed our conversations following the election. My door is always open. I want to thank my teachers. You got me here and you never stopped teaching me to this day. My elementary teachers at Pomeroy, to Los Banos Elementary, from Mrs. Ross to Mrs. Rumblefanker, to Mrs. Hatton, to Mrs. McCormick, and specifically Mrs. Pereira, who piqued my interest in the American Revolution and the Constitution, is why I'm here today. In fact, my history teachers from high school and college would be proud, specifically Mr. Swanson from Mission College, who told me after the movie Milk was released in 2008, he believed I would make a good council member, that maybe there was a chance. He never made history or politics boring, and I agree. A special thanks go to my choir teacher, Mr. Faria, who taught me about harmony and working in unison. Funny thing was, he was also elected mayor of Los Banos the same day as me, which is something 20 years ago we would never think or have thought would have happened. To my coworkers, I see all of you struggling to make it. I see a lot of you driving over 100 miles one way to work. You can't afford the housing and the struggle to maintain things for your family. You're the reason why I keep fighting for better affordable housing. You are overworked, underappreciated, and underpaid. You are essential heroes and champions. You put lives on the line to do the work that many could not do. I fight with you, and I will deliver that housing. To all my coworkers throughout my life whom I worked besides, whether it be punching numbers in a computer to scrubbing dishes or tables, you are the backbone of this community and this country. Thank you to my former crew at Create TV, Mickey, Jason, Gopher, Justin, and the guys on Hooked on the Niners show, Mitch, Terrell, Dan, Jerry, and also Terry Christensen from Valley Politics. Thank you to the huddled masses, the tired, the poor, the immigrants who came to this country for a better life, leaving places of uncertainty with futures of tyranny. They took a chance on this nation, often coming with nothing. My ancestors did, your ancestors did. They took a place on a chance that and start a history that led to you and I. Thank you to my supporters, the canvassers, and those who donated, endorsed me, and spread the word. You have no idea what it means to me, and I will never forget it. You are what helped me get here. I thank you, Marcus Bracamonte of the original Dream Team back in 2016. I thank Harbir Bhatia, Suds Jane, and Kevin Park of Dream Team 2.0. This was not possible without any of you. Thank you to my mother, who gave birth to me, brought me into this world, and who raised me, who was there and always seeing what I have tried to accomplish. My mother is what mothers are made of. And I thank you for being here tonight, Mom, to be here for this memory. I'll never forget. This is for you, my brothers, my sisters, and my entire family. We've made history and we've come a long way. Lastly, I want to thank my father. 6 years ago, I lost you and my life changed forever. My life took a different direction. The loss of you crippled me, but it only made me come back stronger. I just wish we had more time together. It kind of reminds me of that song by Cats in the Cradle. I never thought this would ever happen. The last 6 years have been the ride of my life. I've dared to dream, and this journey doesn't end here. This is bittersweet because my final moments with my father, he told me, go forth, son, live your life. Don't have regrets or you'll be 66 years old and thinking what could have been. My father commuted for 20 years from Los Banos to Santa Clara, just for me, my mother too. They sacrificed a lot to do something that they never could. While my grandfather had the saying, always have a plan, my father instilled the saying, follow through. And that's what I'll do as a council member. To my council colleagues, it is a privilege to be here, not a right. To be an elected leader is a public servant, a protector of the people, and a representative of the people. Business is business, and it can't be taken personally. We have so much on the line. We need to save our small businesses, which are the backbone of our community and critical for our future. We need to build our downtown, reduce our deficits, build bridges and not burn them. If you want to change the tone, lead it. If you want to change the city, lead it. This is where the work begins. The buck stops here. And here, the people are my compass. I didn't run to join a faction or be loyal to anyone. One must be brave to take the wheel and help guide this ship to safety. The American dream is not dead. We can escape this nightmare. Mayor Gilmore, Vice Mayor Hardy, Council Members Park, Jane, Chahal, and Watanabe, I pledge tonight to work together, to not fight with one another, but to fight for a brighter future for all. The integrity of today is the posterity of tomorrow. Our children of today are the leaders of tomorrow. To that little boy or little girl, to that person of whatever color, whatever faith, whatever culture, my dreams are your dreams. I look to my nephews, Robert, Adam, and my niece, Lorelei, my cousins, Joey, Ayala, Emma, Lena, Kayla, and tell them, don't ever fear to achieve your dreams, your goals, or your niche. Never be afraid to reach for the stars. Never be afraid to hear people tell you that you're stupid. Dreams come true, so seize the day. I am that proof. I'm elected and preparing a better future for you. The journey starts now for all of us, and including yourselves. It may take time to achieve your goals. You may fall, and that's okay. You just have to get up and dust yourself off and keep fighting. Look at all of us now, the majority of this council. We were all losers. At one point on election night, we were knowing the sting of defeat and licked our wounds. But now look. To quote the rapper Drake, I started from the bottom and now we are here. To end, I want to end with a quote from a prayer by St. Francis of Assisi that I think may help us as a council and as a people. Where there is discord, may we bring harmony. Where there's error, may we bring truth. Where there is doubt, may we bring faith. And when there is despair, may we bring hope. God bless the people of Santa Clara. God bless my council. And God bless this country of the United States. Thank you again, and have a good night.